Yo, what it do, gamers? It's your boy Juke King the Boss, and over the weekend I had some time to play the Anthem demo, and I want to give y'all my thoughts. Now, granted, we know a lot of people are going to compare the game to Destiny and Warframe. They say it's a hybrid of the both, but I want to look at the game exclusively on its own. Try not to make too many Destiny comparisons or Warframe comparisons. Just look at the game for what they put out in the demo and what a demo is designed to do. Now, we know that there were some technical issues, network connection issues. There was a few issues when it came down to frame rate drops, infinite loading. But let's talk about what did I experience as I played the game. So we're not going to cover all of those bugs. We know that they're there. And at the end, I'll tell you exactly why I'm not too hung up on a bug being in game as long as a developer is actively trying to patch it. Now, first of all, I did play this game on the Xbox One X. So my review is based on that platform and that system. I've heard that people have been having all kinds of issues on the other platforms, and I haven't had the same level of issues, but I have had similar issues. Now, let's look at Fort Tarsis. Fort Tarsis, the location, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but Fort Tarsis, the location where, you know, your central hub, your social hub for all of your activities. I really think that it was really well designed. The map is kind of confusing. I spent some time diving into the menus just to kind of get a little, you know, glimpse of how the menus are loaded up, how the menus are set up, and, you know, clean UI. And I said, okay, bet. Now, Fort Tarsis is, first of all, a beautiful place. I did a lot of walking around in it. I love the fact that you'll have a lot of these things like these little books that add to the story, that add to the core text. Now, one of the issues and cause of concern for me from that was I kind of didn't want a game where the story is going to be all written material. You know, I don't mind if I get to go in and read a little backlog story on a particular character or a particular situation, you know, something that set up what we're currently living in. But the story that I partake in, I would like to see that story unfold in front of me. So one of the first things that actually made me feel a little bit better was when I went up to talk to couple of characters, and going to talk to these characters, I was able to have my own little dialogue options. Now, when you start the game, you'll choose to use a male or female voice, and you know, in the full game, I believe you'll be able to change that voice, but in the demo, you choose one and you stuck with that voice for the entire demo. Cool. The fact that you can talk to people and have some dialogue options, said, okay, all right, this is lovely. I'm liking this. But then you get to an area where you talk to, I forgot what, Matthias, and having a conversation with him, you kind of got the sense that, okay, there's going to be some cinematics or some cutscenes, and I like the more BioWare style cutscenes. I will give credit to that. This is, you know, how BioWare cutscenes usually go in some of their single player adventures, where it's less about, oh, this cinematic, you know, scene that took, you know, 40 hours to produce. It's just some dialogue, back and forth banter between two characters that set you on about your adventure. I thought that was something done really well, and I enjoyed it. Now I want to look at the entire scheme when it comes down to how you choose your loadouts and how you customize your freelancer. So now I thought this was one of the most exciting parts to me, because it's only in demo, and so, you know, if any of this thing has like real world price implications at the end, I'd be a little bit more upset. But I do like the fact that changing your color, changing your look is all done with either in-game currency, and changing your color is free. And I'm hoping that stays that way, because I don't mind buying the different, you know, aesthetic pieces with the in-game currencies. But as you can see, there were two currencies. There's the coins and then there's the shards. So because these things can be purchased with coins, I'm looking at it and saying, okay, well, coins are the currency that you're going to earn in game. Shards are going to most likely be your virtual currency outside of getting it in the game itself. And so I looked at that and said, well, you know, one of the best things about that balance is that if I can purchase everything with in-game currency, just the loot that I get from missions, that's a plus. And then when it came down to changing my loadout, a couple of things that I loved about that was you can not only change your loadouts, but you can also save your loadouts for easier choices and transitions and swaps between missions. So if you know that you're going into a mission tank heavy, you know what kind of loadout you have for that using the current, as I'm gonna call them, atlases. No, using the current freelancer mech suit that you have. Now, everybody's gonna most likely roast me on the fact that I call it a mech suit. I'm sorry, it's what it is. All right. Now, the missions itself. First of all, the world's another visual, stunning piece of architecture. We've always known BioWare could create these visual worlds, but the question is, are these worlds filled with life and things to interact and enjoy? So first mission, I spent a lot of time just trying to get my handles on the controls. You know, this is the first time I was playing it, and one of the biggest errors that I kept coming across was because I'm still trying to learn the game, and my teammates, I'm running with randoms, they were kind of like running through it. Like they were running through it. They had been here before, they had done this before, and they just was getting it. I found myself so many times having like the game reload me to catch me up with the team because I'd fall behind. Now, in some cases, what that means is the world is beautiful to a point where you kind of, it makes you want to stop and stare a little bit, go off the beaten path a little bit. So it's two different ways you'll end up playing this game. If you're playing this game with friends and you have friends who, you know, y'all are explorers, that's the kind of adventures that y'all have, then you're going to find yourself taking longer to complete the missions. And that's good. That's, you know, if you can find the best way for you to have fun playing the game, that's the only thing that matters. Then you'll have the speed runners, those that are trying to go through, get the loot, and get out as quick as possible so they can move on. And there's going to be quite a little balance between these two type of play styles, and that's I have nothing against that. I thought that was really fun. I thought, you know, the interaction I had with these guys, it did keep me on my toes. It did keep me moving, but it also allowed me to see what would happen if I'm playing this game with randoms. The reason behind it is because, to me, a game is going to be based on how much of it I can play by myself when I want to. You know, I can play any game with my friends. I know that for a fact. But when it comes down to each game that I purchase, I look at it and say, can I enjoy the experience just teaming up with some randoms? Can I enjoy the experience running alone? And I never got a chance to test it running alone because I didn't want to run on anything less than hard. And I didn't want to spend, you know, 2 hours trying to complete a mission because the enemies were just smacking me around like I owed them money. But like I said, visually beautiful. I didn't have any sound problems. I heard that there were some sound problems people were having at points, sound cutting out and cutting back in. I didn't have any sound issues, and I thought the sound was really good. Didn't feel like there was any ambient sound, and if there was, I didn't hear it as much. So maybe that's a sound issue. Or maybe it's just no ambient sounds, but it would be great if the world has, you know, ambient sounds to bring it to life. So hopefully it's just something that was there, but that might have been a bug. Hopefully it's not something they just didn't include altogether. Gameplay controls felt smooth. When I was, you know, switching between weapons, which was the hardest thing for me to do at first, because like X is to not only reload but switch weapons on the Xbox controller. So I would find myself holding X when I just meant to press it, or I found myself pressing X and I mean to hold it and get myself shot in the face for it. So it's a crazy little combo. The UI in game during missions, similar to that of Destiny. Like I said, I wasn't going to mention Destiny like that, but it is a similar UI setup. You know, they try to make it as minimal as possible. They got a navigation set up top with all of your powers all loaded up on the left side. I thought it was easy to use, easy to kind of visualize. The one power that I had the hardest time using actually was my shield power, and that's because I actually didn't know about it until later on. Like, I literally did not use it except for I think maybe once in a mission, and it was because it's like, I think my boy was watching me play and he was like, you ain't got no shield, and I was like, hold up, I think I do. So in that confusion, I do like I said, I do like the enemy combat, especially because we was playing on hard. The enemies were really good, but they didn't feel like they were too OP. There might be some balancing issues there, or it could have just been because of the weapon loadouts that my team had as well. Because I was getting my shots in. I was running with a sniper rifle and an assault rifle combo, a marksman rifle and an assault rifle combo. Because I wanted to be able to get the range and be able to, hold my own in a close-knit battle. So, this is one of those instances where, like I said, you'll find yourself just, my teammates there moving forward without me, and I did not even notice it at first. It wasn't until the game was telling me, hey, look, you're getting off the beaten path, and I'm still shooting at enemies. I was just enjoying myself. I thought the interaction with the world was something that felt not completely unique, but felt refreshing enough. Like I said, I still believe that there is a few issues with the world. Like I didn't have disappearing enemies that I was coming across, but I do believe that some of the things that the world can use maybe is just, like I said, a little bit more life. Because visually it's stunning. It would be great to interact with a few more different creatures. But I mean, it was an abundance of enemies. We came across an abundance of enemies, so I thought that was really good. Now, one of the biggest things moving forward, my biggest review on it, because like I said, I got about 13 minutes of footage that is just going to be a boss battle from the second fight, and that's just going to be, you can check it out, get some good sound quality from it, and really see what it felt like. Now, that mission, what upset me about that mission was that mission was both good, it was great, it was frustrating, and it was difficult. And the reason being is because I could have sworn it felt like the big boss just kept attacking me. It didn't feel like anything else, but he was just attacking me. And you'll see that mission at about the 13:29 marker. Now, I really did enjoy the play that I had, but would I see myself paying $60 for it? Do I see myself pre-ordering it? First of all, no, I won't pre-order it. Like, this is one of those games where I won't pre-order. But do I see myself spending money down the line on a game like this at a nice discount once they've, worked out the bugs and added enough content? Maybe. I do have a dedicated group of friends that like to play games like this, and I could see myself playing it. But whether I pay $60 for it and get basically what we got in the demo, no. I mean, there's abundance of games coming out around it, and I know that it's coming out with some heavy hitters around it, but I've already dedicated myself that I'm getting the Division too. And, I know what I'm going to get from the Division. And I think I'd rather take more of a risk on knowing what I will get and less of not knowing what to expect this time around. We look at EA and BioWare, and, we wish that little contract would kind of just like separate. But I just kind of really just want to see this game succeed. Whether they fix the issues and the problems that they're having, only time will tell. But what I would love to see is this game actually be the first step in getting back to the basics.
Do we know what this Iscari looks like?
The Sentinel said it was huge and dangerous. Found the Iscari we're looking for. We have to take it down. dealt with. Good work. Head back to the fort and we'll see if Aruna discovered anything about those samples.